Alright, what is up, dudes? Unboxing time. First, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Look down there, make sure you are. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, duties_daggers. Alrighty. So, this is a knife that I kind of picked up a little bit on a whim, but it is a knife that I already own, and it is one that it's a version of a knife that I don't own. But the knife itself I do own. And it's a great knife. So I decided to get this version, and you'll see why in a second. Let's open this freaking thing up. It's a Saturday, and I don't usually get packages in on Saturdays, so that was kind of a nice surprise. Alright. Bam! CJRB. If you've been following along, you know that they have been killing it recently with their button locks. And this is absolutely another button lock. Here we go. There she is. The White Mountain Knives exclusive CJRB Pyrite in the black and white Gemascus. Oh, yeah. Awesome. So, I happen to have the OG Pyrite in the same Gemascus. I bought this a while back when the original Pyrite came out. You can see it's got a little dirty. I think I need to scrub that off a little bit. Having the white does attract dirt, but it wipes off pretty easy. But I bought this back when the original Pyrite first came out, and I absolutely loved it. This was my favorite budget button lock for quite a while. And then they came out with the Wharncliffe version with the opening hole instead of the thumb studs, and I gotta say, I think I like this one even better. This is such an amazing knife. Let's see how it feels. Yeah, feels good. Now I also own a stainless steel version of this knife, and I gotta say, the stainless steel version sounds a little bit better because it's metal, right? You hear a little bit more of a clack, a click. With this G10, it's a little bit more muted, but the detent still is very nice and snappy, as is all of these CJRBs. But yeah, feeling of the action, stainless steel one's very nice. Now it is heavier, so that's a definite downside, and it is much slipperier, which is why I've cut these lines in it to have some kind of grip. It's stainless steel, and it's polished stainless steel when you get it, so it's quite slippery. But not anymore because I cut the texture on there. Now, yeah, everything just feels kind of muted with this G10 one. I mean, it's nice that it's lighter, and I really bought it so that I could have the pair. I think this is a cool pair to have, and that's really the only reason I bought it. The collector in me took over, and I had to buy it, so I had the matching pair. But as far as the feel of the knife, I gotta say I like the stainless steel one better. Yeah, I just do. It is heavier, but there is a lot of milling on the inside of here. Deep, deep slots milled out on the inside of here. So it's not as heavy as you might think. Let's see. There you go. Deep, deep slots milled in both sides. So it's not that heavy. And like I said, it just makes better sounds. I was talking recently in a video, I forget which one it was, but acoustics are very, very important in knives for me and for a lot of people. If a knife sounds kind of muted and just kind of doesn't sound good, doesn't sound metallic, and clicky clacky. It really is a turnoff. You know, it is absolutely a turnoff for me. Um, Now this one's not as bad as some others. I think the worst I've ever handled was the Vosteed Corgi. That was one of their button locks that came out recently, and I bought one, and it sounded like there was some kind of like soft coating all inside the pivot and the plunge lock and everything. It did not make any satisfying sounds. It was all muted and very soft and quiet, and I don't like that. I like to, when I flick out my knife, I like to hear a nice chink, or a click, or a boonk, or a click. Just some kind of like satisfying clunky sound. Uh, this one's not bad, but compared to this one, yeah, it's a bit softer and less satisfying acoustically. But functionally, the detent feels just as snappy, I think. Let's see here. Yeah, detent feels just as snappy, which is great. These are some of the snappiest feeling button locks I've ever witnessed. Just really freaking awesome. It seems like on the close, this one might need to break in a bit. Let's see. It's not dropping as readily as this one. I'm sure that'll break in. Zero blade play. What if I back that pivot off a little bit? I wonder if it's a little over tightened. Let's see. T8. Probably just needs to break in a little bit. I don't want to mess with it. Well, yeah, let me give it a little bit of a turn here. That's a little better. There's a little bit of blade play though, so let me tighten it back up. It'll break in. It's really not bad at all. It's just falling slower than this one. So there you have it. Now this is not the only CGRB button lock I own. I actually have one more, the Echo, which I actually just did some modifications to. For the members only video, I cut some slots into the scales and then I put some gun bluing to darken them up a little bit. I think it turned out great. Now acoustically, this is the best out of all of these. This is a fantastically sounding knife. It's clicky. It's just fantastic. Really fantastic. It's the most fidgety out of all of these. Because we have the reverse flicker and the front flipper. Just amazing. Now, as far as cutting and ergos, the Pyrites win for cutting performance and ergos. The Echo here is not bad, but I do prefer the ergos on these Pyrites, and we have a little bit of a lower tip on these Wharncliffe Pyrites than on the Echo, and so they do utility cutting a little bit better. Slicing, they're just about the same because we have the same blade stock thicknesses, same measurements behind the edge also, in fact. So slicing, just about exactly the same. Utility cutting, the Pyrite's better. Ergonomically, the Pyrite's better. Acoustically, and how the action feels, Echo. So, there you go. They all kind of have their pros and cons. But between the Pyrites, the regular drop point Pyrite, and the Wharncliffe Pyrite, Wharncliffe is the way to go. It's such a good blade shape. It's thin behind the edge, thin blade stock. This is a slicey knife. You can go watch my cut testing video on it. And man, this thing cuts so well. You know, it's using CGRB's AR RPM 9 blade steel, which I am really impressed with. The longer I use it, the more I'm noticing just how good it is. It is really good. It holds an edge surprisingly long. So these are really great knives. This was, I think, like 65. I think they're all about 65, which is such a good price. So there you go, my CJRB button lock collection, and I'm sure there will be more to come because they really are amazingly good button locks. That's about it. Thanks for watching, dudes. I love you. See you soon, and adios.